WNST around here, but I especially love when they're doing cool stuff out in the community, having events and doing it for great causes. Our friends at Jerry's Auto Group have been doing this for a long, long time. They've been our sponsor for a decade here at WNST. Bill Bolander has always been a part of that as the Chief Communication Officer and my one-time colleague at WHFS in spinning the rock and roll. But they had to move the car show because the weather, this whole like hurricane stuff and moving stuff around. Bill Bolander joins us now over at Jerry's Auto Group. You know, you guys moved it, and there's been a lot of things moving around, but the car show's happening. I want to let everybody know about that on September the 30th. This is one that my wife looks forward to every year because she loves old cars, man.
Oh, yeah, and the way my phone rang while we were postponing it in the days leading up to the original date, a lot of people are looking forward to it. Hey, Ness, it is our 14th annual Jerry's Fall Car Show. What started 14 years ago as a little, we got together with the Chesapeake Corvette Club and had our first Corvette, and then we expanded it a couple years later into all GM, and then we went all domestic, and then eventually we went all makes and models, and that's been the biggest hit. We have 23 classes, 26 other award categories, a total of 72 trophies are handed out. Obviously, the big ones, the best in show, the most liked, but usually, if the weather's nice, we get about 200 cars, trucks. Heck, we've had a tank before. Last year, we had a 1950s ambulance. Usually, sometimes you'll see like a 1930s good humor truck and stuff like that. But, you know, the heavyweights are, you know, we do every Corvette class from C1 to C7. You know, you got everything from vintage to modern performance. So if you like people, you know, getting their car all up with performance, you know, different additions to their car, you're going to love it. If you love to see the old classics.
I learned what Mopar was last year from you, right? Because I'm reading off this Corvette. There are like 7 different classes. I don't know, you know, how they're graded or whatever, and I've watched this on television as well. My wife loves to put the auction shows on, you know, when they're selling the cars, you know, in this big place like out in Reno or something. And so we sit there and here, 24,000, you know, it's like all that going on. And they're just the most beautiful. And I say, like, how do people drive these cars? How do they take them out when it's raining? Like, I'm afraid of getting my car dinged, and my car's not a 67 Corvette for crying out loud. But there's so many classes, and I know for your show, this is like one of the really big shows in Maryland during the course of the year because so many of these cars come out.
There's a lot of monster shows that get a lot more vehicles, but I mean, if you have to be technical, we're arguably the largest one-day judged car show. So we actually have about 3 groups of judges. They all have the different, you know, between the classes and then coming up with the other awards, they all have like a third of the vehicles to go through. They have their certain classes they check out, and then when they get down to the awards, they all have their ideas, and then they kind of walk the lot again just to take one, you know, as a group to take a look at, okay, well, best in shows down to these 3 cars. Let's all take a look at them and stuff like that. So my judges do a good job. They're judging cars from noon to about 2:30. If you're coming out to see the cars, it's absolutely free. I suggest coming between 11 and 2 o'clock.
Sometimes parking can be a little issue, man. You guys get crowded over there when you have a beautiful day, right?
Well, we take all our new Chevrolets all the way up to, if you're familiar with, obviously, the 14 acres. We take all the new inventory from Jerry Chevrolet all the way past our collision center down to Mitsubishi, and we put them in the back of the building, and we fill up, actually, the service department. And then all that area is for primarily show cars. I know that we do have 3 shopping centers that are catty corner across the street or whatever from Jerry Chevrolet.
Including Gentlemen, right to your west side where I get my hair cut with Paul LaMantia. So I got to give Paulie a plug over there, too. He loves you guys.
There you go.
He says he cuts half the people in your at Jerry Chevrolet's hair. So there, I
bet he does.
He does. So I got to give him some
But one thing I got to throw out there, everybody, don't park at the little crab shack. Gosh, I forgot their name. It's not Conrad's. It's a little crab shack next to Jerry Chevrolet. Don't park in his lot, because he always comes over and gives me
park down at Steve Elliott's place at Elliott Family Chiropractic and go for the 2-block walk. That's what I would say.
There you go.
Well,
but actually, we have food there. Silver Spring Mining Company brings out their truck, and all proceeds do go to the MDA of Maryland. It's one of our in-house charities. They are our sponsor they're the beneficiary of our car show. and also our golf tournament, which we just held this past July. And I'm proud to say in the last 5 years, we've raised and donated, cleared, like after all costs, $250,000 to kids to help kids in wheelchairs in the Baltimore area.
The Jerry Lewis MDA, you guys keeping that alive and raising money for a great cause. I think everybody's familiar with that from the Labor Day telethons. Award categories, Jerry's Fall Car Show coming up on the 30th. I'm going to read from some of this stuff, but you can go to jerrysautoshow.com to learn more about it. Bill Bolander, the Chief Communication Officer and Raven and Oriole fan as well, joining us here from Jerry's Auto Group. The Best in Show, I want to ask you about that because, what kind of car wins Best in Show at this? I'm looking at this, engines, exotics, you got lowriders, Mitsubishi, Camaro, Mustang. I'm reading off all this. Best paint, best Pontiac. Every car, every class. Best in Show, what kind of car usually wins that award?
Well, the most recent, I think, 5 or 6 years are on jerrysautoshow.com. But luckily for me, I'm not one of the judges. I'm the MC there all day. We play music and stuff. But I think it's it depends on who. It's really thinking about the last ones. I know that 2 years ago, if my memory serves me correctly, it was now I'm not going to get the name right.
Best in Show last year.
Hold on, but it was all original parts, and it was just a gorgeous 30-year-old, 40-year-old car. And then last year, I know the vehicle at one had a little bit more bells and whistles. Funny, I have our flyers up. I don't have the website up while I'm talking to you.
Well, this is 1930 Packard back in 17, right?
Wow.
So I don't even know what I'm going to have to Google what a 1930 Packard looks like. But the People's Choice Award was a 70 Chevrolet El Camino. That would be my choice because my uncle had an El Camino back in 1973. And the Chevrolet Chevelle, a 66 Chevelle, was also, and the most liked award was, believe it or not, a 2016 BMW M4, which is really kind of a new car. So, that sort of runs the gamut of what kind of cars, because you're going back 100 years worth of cars on this lot, right?
Oh, definitely. Oh, my God, yeah. You're definitely going, like I said, it's got everything for everybody. If you like, I think I told you one year we had a tank. And it was like a 1950, like a World War I, maybe towards the end of that war tank. We used to have, unfortunately, the man passed away, I believe, but we used to have the Batmobile used to come out. But you can see it right here. Best theme car last year was a 1964 Bonneville ambulance. So I'm just looking down too. We had, like you said, you had a Porsche at one. We had a 1968 Barracuda win Best Mopar. So if you love the cars, we try to do some different things at this car show over the years. One time, I think we even had, a stage and some live music and whatnot. But it's just a car show, and we're actually not in the car show business. But I know that the owner and Jamie Gray, who is our fixed ops director over at Chevrolet, they're both obviously big in the cars, and they're the ones that are like, yeah, we got to do this. It's been very successful. I'm very happy.
Labor of love. To your point, everybody in the dealership gets involved in this because you move all the cars. You got to make the space for the thing, right?
Yep.
Jerry's Auto Show is...
Go
ahead. I just want to give the plug on the website. jerrysautoshow.com is where they give everything.
Yes, jerrysautoshow.com. It does have my phone number on there if you have any additional questions, but most of the things are answered. We do not have parking. The biggest question I get is, do we have parking for trailers? No, we do not. Can you drop your car off of a trailer? Yes, but I do suggest you get there before registration, like between 8 and 9, because after 9:30, 10, it's really hard to maneuver a trailer around.
Well, and trailers are the way a lot of people like to bring their cars, especially not putting the car on the road, which we talked about. Jerry's Auto Show can be found at Jerry's Auto Show. It is coming up on the 30th. It's a new date from the rain. Bill, it's amazing how many charities, events, groups wait for the Ravens schedule in April, right? And I know that's always affected this event. It affects a lot of events because whenever the bye week is, you tried to line this up a couple of weeks ago with the Thursday night game. So they had to move the show, and it's a weather event, like many things were the weekend of the hurricane that didn't come through, right?
Yeah, we had to call it on Tuesday. It's just that we had, like stations like yourself promoting the event. We incur a cost to put the show on, and I didn't want to incur that cost twice because a lot of the vendors that we use from the porta potties, we have to give everybody enough notice of whether it's going to happen or not. And at the time we called it that Tuesday morning, they were saying, oh my gosh, it's going to be raining all weekend. We were also worried about the whip around wind, because if there's a lot of wind, people don't like to bring their cars out because they can't prop up the hood. And so we called it, and sure enough, 8 hours later, they were saying, oh, it's going to be gorgeous on Sunday. I'm like, ugh. So, but, not looking back, we're going to have it coming up on the 30th. It's going to be a gorgeous day. And
the Ravens play at night. How about that? The Ravens are playing in Pittsburgh. So you can have a great car show.
That's how we timed it.
There you go, man. So we'll have a good weekend. Bill Bolander here, Chief Communication Officer over at Jerry's Auto Group. Of course, you got some 18s, right? Like, this is, as someone who's in the market, and my wife's been looking at Camrys, and of course, Buy a Toyota sponsors us, and you guys, so the 18 models are still there. This is sort of the time to buy a car, right? This is when the pros buy cars, right?
Yes. This is definitely one of the best times to buy a car. You're going to get the best deals on the 2018s. Obviously, not just us, but the manufacturers want to clear them off. So we do a good job because we do have lots of parking in our Chevrolet store, and our Toyota store just sells a ton of Toyotas. We have a lot of 2018s in stock. They all have the biggest rebates from the manufacturers. We're moving them. We got to make room for the 2019s. It's not a car gimmick sale. It's a real sale. It's the model year-end sale. So everybody wants to get rid of the 2018s, make room for 2019. So we got a ton of RAV4s in stock still, and Camrys. You mentioned to me on our website. We also, I know at our Chevrolet store, we got tons of 2018 Cruises and Malibus, and they're all marked 30% off MSRP. So now's definitely the best time. Silverado trucks, I know we have a bunch in stock, and they're up to 25% off MSRP. So, that's a lot of savings. That's real money.
Big week coming up here over at Jerry's. They're bringing a bunch of cars together on hopefully a lovely sunny day, and hopefully on a weekend when the Ravens beat the Steelers. They've moved the car show from 2 weeks ago because of the Hurricane Florence, to the 30th. Make sure you check it out, jerrysautoshow.com. I'll be talking more about it here at WNST.net, also sharing some links on some of these beautiful cars. Hey, Bill, always a pleasure, man. Thanks for all you do to support us here at WNST and our afternoon drive show, and, of course, the auto show, and all you guys are doing for MDA muscular dystrophy. I know it's a great cause, and I don't know that it's spotlighted in the same way it used to be, when Jerry Lewis sort of stopped the world for 3 days every year. So I think it's great that folks like you are out there continuing to do some great work for some good folks out there. I think we all know the stories, and we'll be supporting you next Sunday on the 30th out there. Perring Parkway, right in the heartland of all of our listeners and sponsors. Hope everybody joins us over at Jerry's Chevrolet lot at Perring Parkway on the 30th. Bill, thanks for coming on, man.
Thanks for having me, Nestor. Take care, buddy.
You got it. Rave on. Bill Bolander joining us here, Chief Communication Officer at Jerry's Auto Group, where it's always about you. You can find me anytime, anywhere, and I don't mind saying it, the buyatoyota.com Audio Vault. Big appreciation for our friends at Jerry's Toyota, as well as buyatoyota.com, for sponsoring our Audio Vault. A lot of our web presence as well out there. Of course, our web presence is there. Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Snapchat, Instagram, streaming live on our Facebook, as well as our YouTube WNSTV channel. We are WNST.net, AM 1570 at WNST Towson, Baltimore. We never stop talking Baltimore sports.